We want to honor your time and your commitment to be here, so we will begin. I'm Wayne Harris. I'm here with my colleague, Dr. Kevin Kastner. Dr. Kastner and I have been asked by your superintendent, Dr. Carter, if we will support and facilitate the development of a strategic plan for Franklin City Public Schools. Just a little bit of background, Dr. Kastner and I have worked together over the last 12 years doing strategic planning. We've done strategic planning all over the state and beyond. We are both retired school superintendents. We currently do a lot of other work related to school systems, strategic planning, superintendent searches, etc. And we're just pleased to be here with you this evening. I want to make sure that you're in the right place. This is the Community Summit, the first meeting, first opportunity for the community to learn about strategic planning, how you can be involved. And tonight you will be given an opportunity to give some written feedback that will be shared with the strategic plan team as they begin their work. Again, thank you for being here. The mission statement for Franklin City Public Schools states very clearly, work in partnership with students, family, and community to empower individual students so that they will reach their full potential. Translated, it simply means we will do everything in our power so that each and every student will reach their hopes, their dreams, and their aspirations. In the words of my third grade teacher, Miss Jessie P. Jones, she would say, boy, go make something out of yourself. Dr. Carter has the support of the school board to engage in strategic planning because they understand the value of focused, purposeful, thoughtful planning to ensure that each and every student will be prepared to be successful in the global society. Dr. Carter understands the core of education, and that is to make sure that staff is supported, that each and every student will be able to learn in a safe environment so that they will be productive where they live and they work. Dr. Carter has made a commitment to provide the necessary resources not only to develop the plan, but to implement it to ensure, because that's where the success can be realized, in the implementation of the plan. So you might ask, why strategic planning? If we continue to do what we've been doing, we're going to get the same thing. The strategic plan liberates the staff. The strategic plan, when implemented with fidelity, will allow for the solving of problems, a change in mindset, and moving from predicting the future to literally creating the future. I said this a little earlier. Dr. Carter is very clear that today's schools won't prepare today's students for the future. There have to be changes, and so we have to be thoughtful how we go about those changes. Your superintendent, he's not going to get a big head, but I'm going to say it anyway. He sees beyond now and today. He expects beyond now and today.
Thank you, you too.
He dreams beyond now and today because he understands what's necessary to prepare our students for the future. And that's why we are here. I want you to look at these three words that appear on this slide. Accelerate, innovate, transform. Those words come from your superintendent after being appointed superintendent here. Those three words simply mean the vision, the goal, working together with staff, students, and community. We will become a premier school district. It also speaks to what your superintendent and this school board understands about excellence. They understand that excellence is never an accident. It's always the result of sincere effort, high intention, intelligent execution, and a vision to turn obstacles into opportunities. Very clear about that. So as we move forward, please keep this background and context in mind, because it's all about doing what we have to do to promote the success of each and every student and support staff. So this evening, and we will be together for between 45 minutes to an hour, we're going to describe the process so that you understand what it is. We're going to emphasize the importance of that partnership. We refer to it as a triangle of support. You will have an opportunity to share on the card that you were given as you think about those children who are important, and whether they're yours, your grandchildren, whether they live down the street, or whether you just know them. What are your hopes and dreams and aspirations? We're going to ask you to share that. We're going to talk to you about how you can get involved, how you can sign up to be a part of the strategic plan team or one of the action teams. And finally, you're going to fill out the rest of that card. What are the things that need to continue? What are the things that need to stop? What are the things that need to start in order that we will become premier? So as we engage, I want to talk a little bit about the most effective ways you can participate, because unfortunately we live in an environment where if we don't have some guidelines about how we do that, we interfere with progress through how we do what we do. We're asking you to express your commitment through everything that you say and do, that you're promoting the success and well-being of each student. That you actively participate without dominating. Some of us are introverts. We don't have much to say. Then there's that other side, where there's not enough time to hear what you have to say. Please understand, we want to hear all the voices. Avoid promoting any personal or political agenda. Our purpose tonight is to share information about the strategic planning process, how you can become involved and get your feedback. It's not about politics and it's not about personal. It's all about the students. Share suggestions that will benefit students. Demonstrate your aspirations for students. Miss Chesapeake, go make something of yourself. She said, Wayne, Patricia, Charles, Gloria, do your homework so you can go make something out of yourself. That is the whole purpose of strategic planning, so that students will make something of themselves. Remember, the strategic plan is aspirational, beyond where we are now. Push our students, challenge them to do more than they're currently doing. challenge the staff to do more than they're already doing. And finally, each and every one of you, along with all who participate, to become ambassadors, to support the plan, and to cheer and celebrate as we see the progress that will come about. So let me talk a little bit about the process so you understand the process. Why planning? The key reasons are to engage this entire community, to build public confidence in what we're doing, and you'll have an opportunity to do that. There are lots of ways that you will be involved. To create and communicate a shared vision for this entire community, because it will be well beyond this community. To determine which programs are working, to decide what we need to abandon, and finally, to demonstrate the courage to abandon those things that we've been doing over and over again and we get no results. Why now? Think of all the things that have changed over the last 6 months to a year. Let's go back to the pandemic. Technology is changing. The pandemic changed us. There are new skills that our students need. These are all the things that it's important that we do strategic planning now. And finally, we have to have a shared vision. We're all in this together. The stage is in the process. We're establishing a steering committee consisting of 20 to 30 individuals. So the strategic plan team will be composed of about 25 to 28 people. Students will be involved. Half of that group will be employees so that the entire system is represented. Half will be from the community. It should be a microcosm of the Franklin City community. And when I use community, I'm talking about employees and everyone else who lives here as well. That team will meet for 3 days to develop the draft of the plan. We're having the community summit tonight to make sure that everyone understands what the process is and how you can be involved. And finally, engage stakeholders so that you become ambassadors to support the plan. It's a 5-year plan that will begin implementation after the board approves it in the spring. Immediately, Dr. Carter and the team will get things up and running. Again, we call it strategic plan team. The committee will meet for several days. And in this development of the plan, we must have 100% agreement for the plan. We don't vote, it's agreement to make sure that when that plan goes to the board, everyone's on the same page that this is what we need to do. That plan will then go to Dr. Carter from the team. He takes it to the board approves it, and implementation will begin. So let's see who's here tonight, because remember, we want the community involved in this plan. So I'm going to ask you to raise your hands if I call a group. Raise your hands, let's see all who's here. And then I'm going to ask a couple of you to say, why did you come tonight? And what did you expect from this meeting? Will all the parents raise your hands? Will all the students raise your hand? Will all the building administrators, meaning principals, assistant principals, deans, etc., raise your hand? And for those of you who are in the audience, we met with them before you came in, so it's not that they're absent, they've already heard this. Administrators, raise your hand again. Would all of the school clerical operational folks raise your hand? And administrators, faith community, raise your hand. Civic organizational leaders, raise your hand. Grandparents, raise your hand. Any higher education folks, community college, university, raise your hand. Business leaders, did I ask business leaders? Raise your hand. School board members. Who did I leave out? I see law enforcement here. Raise your hand.
Teachers?
Teachers. Ah, I'd have to get that. All the teachers, raise your hand. Someone share, why did you come tonight? Anyone? I'll call on you, I'm a teacher. Why did you come tonight? Yes.
I'm the director of finance here, and I would like to be able to craft a budget that aligns with the strategic plan.
Okay, she's finance, draft a budget. Sir, why did you come?
Got to affect change if you're not at the table.
Okay. Can't affect change if you're not at the table. Ma'am, why did you come?
I'm a graduate of Franklin, and I work for the school division, but I believe in Franklin. I believe in our kids.
All right.
Community.
Okay, the father in the back, what did you expect from tonight?
Well, I hope that I can help make our kids a better place to come.
All right. Wants this to be a better place. And over here, why did you come, sir? Back in the back with the leather jacket.
I was draft.
He was drafted. It's okay, that works too. That works too. All the way in the back, why did you come, ma'am?
The school told us to be here.
They told you to be here. You were voluntold. We're glad that you're here. Ma'am, why are you here?
Because I want to be a part of the effective change in
Okay.
the city of Franklin.
Okay, one more. What do you expect from tonight?
I'm expecting great.
Expecting great things. Very good. Thank you very much for sharing. I want to talk a little bit about what we call triangle support. It takes all of us, home, school, and community. You can see these are pictures of this community, this school system, people here. Your mission statement talks about partnership, students, community, school. That's what's necessary in order to make sure that all the aspirations of students' hopes and dreams become reality. And it goes back to that statement. It's the actions, behaviors, and attitudes. It's this sincere effort. It's the intention, high intentions, and it's the execution of this plan, the implementation of it, and the vision. This is what this is about, folks. This is what this entire process is about. But it begins here. Take just a moment. Think about Franklin City, schools, students. What do you believe? That's a wide open statement. What do you believe? What do you believe?
All students can learn.
All students can learn. What do you believe?
All students can learn with the right plan in place.
With the right plan in place. Back in the back, what do you believe? Right there, behind you. Yes, sir, the one that turned his head. You're in. What do you believe?
The miracles do matter.
Miracles. All right. What do you believe, sir? Over here. Yes, sir.
Every student deserves a chance.
Every student deserves a chance. Truest statement has never been made. What do you believe?
Every student can experience success.
Every student can and will experience success. And the lady here, what do you believe, ma'am? No, in front of you. Yes.
Every child should have a good
good education and well-rounded. Yes, ma'am, you have the last word.
Yeah, I believe every child learns differently also.
Every child learns differently. Recall that Dr. Carter is very clear about the core business of education. Promote the success and well-being of each and every child. Not some, as Dr. Kastner said earlier, all means all. There was a successful research study done by Ron Edmonds. It turned into what is called the Effective Schools movement. Ron Edmonds' research said we can, whenever and wherever we choose, educate all of the children whose schooling is of interest to us. It also went on to say we already know everything we need to know in order to make that happen. But here's the dilemma. Whether or not we have done that depends on how we feel about the fact that we haven't so far. Think about Franklin City Schools and what you know. Think about the students and/or places where we haven't done it. Your superintendent, along with the support of this board, said, we're going to do something about that. But here are the central questions for you to think about. It's one thing to say what we're going to do. Something else to do it. So the first reflective question as we think about creating this plan, do you have the will to first identify and then implement actions and initiatives that will promote the success of each child? That's what the strategic planning team will do. Then there will be action teams that will put plans and actions in place that become a part of the plan. So you can become a part of the action teams or the strategic plan team. Second question, as you think about some of the changes that need to happen, what will you do differently to prepare students for a successful future in order that they can reach their hopes and their dreams? Now here's the dilemma about that. Most people will agree we need to do some things different, unless it means I've got to change. They can change, yeah, we need to do change those, but don't you dare change me. For this to be successful, it means we have a change in mindset and we're all open to do what we need to do so that all means all. So what I'd like for you to do now is to think beyond. Remember, not today. Think beyond now. Act beyond now. Expect beyond now. Dream beyond now. What are your aspirations for students who attend Franklin City Schools? Let me hear from you. Give me an aspiration. Yes.
Yes, one of the aspirations should be that they accomplish their goals by having the right mindset to move forward in education.
Okay. Ma'am, give me an aspiration.
I want them to blow their mind beyond their mind.
Blow their mind beyond their mind. Do more than they think they can do. Right here, sir.
Be a contributing member to society.
What do you mean by that?
Add to the community, wherever that community is. If it's here, if it's at college, if it's in their workplace, add to it, don't take away from it.
All right. Give me an aspiration, Mr. Chairman.
Have total support of their parents.
Aspiration, ma'am.
To believe in themselves.
Okay. Believe in themselves.
To stay out of trouble.
Stay out of trouble. Make better choices. Make better choices. I needed that back in the day. Who haven't I heard? Yes, ma'am.
Is that me or behind me?
No, that's you.
I want our kids to believe that it's okay to show that they have interest in school, but it's okay to be smart.
Okay.
I want to change the culture that makes them feel like they're not supposed to.
All right. Ma'am, behind you, aspiration.
To give children an opportunity to realize there's more than just what's in this 8 square miles.
See beyond. See beyond 8 square. One more, someone who hasn't shared. Yes, ma'am.
I would like them to believe in themselves, to see beyond where they are.
If you remember the move, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, ma'am.
I would like them to know that it's more beyond social media. Because I think that takes a lot out of their learning too. They're so focused on social media nowadays that they disregard their learning. You know what I'm saying?
I do. If you remember the movie Pay It Forward,
Yes.
at the beginning, the message was, it's possible. It is possible beyond where we are. Okay, ma'am, I'm gonna let you, my student here, have the last word on this. An aspiration.
Speak loud. Speak loud.
I have old ears, so you have to be.
Speak loud.
My
Aspiration.
inspiration
Yes.
is to stop violence.
It's to
Stop the violence.
it's to stop the violence. Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you.
Does he want to share back there? Okay. Now, what I'd like for you to do now, you have a card that you were given when you came in. Will you list on that card, I think it's at the top, aspirations that you have for the children who attend Franklin City Public Schools? Write that on there right now. And then hold the card, because in a little bit I'm going to ask you to fill out the other card. Did I see another hand? Yes, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to add that I would like to see our children know how powerful they are as leaders, and whether it's 5, 7, 10, 11, or whatever age, to know that they were born leaders to change this world, and that they have so much power in who they are and how they live their life, and the character of who they are, their words, and how they walk and how they talk, that they are leaders. They have everything that they need inside of them. And if they know that, they trust that, they believe in it, that they know that they can change the world just by being themselves.
The point you make is so powerful and so relevant. When, not if, when every teacher, every custodian, every cafeteria worker, every parent, every person on the street where the child lives, every person in the pew if you go to church, when they hear that over and over again, they get it and they do it. It begins with each of us, all of us in this triangle of support, doing what you just said. It takes some longer than others, but they still get it. Please share your aspirations right now.
Good. It's a good audience. Good audience.
I want to come back to this question. It's critical that we can answer this question. I've said to you before, do you have the will? And are you willing to make the changes necessary? So when we talk about aspirations, hopes, and dreams for every student, going back to the last comment about telling the students it's possible, they can, they will, we still need to reflect. Does the current Franklin County Public School organization have the capacity and the will to deliver the strategic action necessary to support every student's aspirations? I'm glad that the finance person is here. Because, and the board members are here, I think we have 4, and the superintendent is here, because there will be some decisions that need to be made around resources, shifting, abandoning, adding, to make it happen. So it's in implementation, folks. Dr. Cass and I will be watching. We will be back. You will get a report. Dr. Carter will be presenting that at the end of the first year. The proof will be in the pudding to answer that question. Based on what we have observed, we think the answer is absolutely yes.
Excuse me.
Yes.
A point of clarity. This is Franklin City.
I'm
school
sorry.
system.
I said
Franklin
County.
County.
I apologize. I know the difference.
I know
It's made a difference.
I didn't want anyone to get
Sorry about
confused.
that. No, this is Franklin City for sure. Franklin County is on the other side of Roanoke, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you for calling me.
You're welcome.
Okay, so now, we want to know what you think. This is the other part of the card. When you think about what you currently know about the school division, of what's happening for students and staff, I don't want to leave them out. What 3 things are working well, being productive, that should continue? So if we were going to decide cost benefit, the benefit outweighs the cost of the result. What 3 things need to continue? What 2 things need to stop or be abandoned? We've been doing it this way. Why should we stop it? Because we're not, the cost outweighs the benefit. And finally, what 1 thing needs to start or be added. This is not about adding more stuff. It's the right things that benefit students. So let me hear aloud a couple things. Something that needs to be continued.
Quality education, we had quality education.
A quality education where it is happening. Okay. 1 thing that needs to continue.
Believing in our students.
Belief in our students. Right here in the oranges flowers. Pink, sorry.
So I would, the resource fairs and giving the education to the parents so they can make better decisions for the kids.
Okay. Helping parents understand what they can do to assist. Yes, sir, the male, yes, sir.
I would say the staff and everybody believes in the students and pushing them to be whatever.
Okay, challenging and pushing the students. Madam Board Member?
I would say one thing that needs to continue is the teamwork approach that we have now between the community, the school division, the faculty and staff.
Teamwork between faculty, staff, community. When parents are directly involved in their child's education, miracles happen. In every instance. That's in every instance, miracles happen. 1 thing that needs to continue, then I'm going to go to stop.
I would say the respecting of each other, the different capabilities and the skills that everybody has.
Okay, respect different capabilities and skills. Okay? Let me go right here. one thing that you believe needs to stop because we're not getting the benefit from it. Yes, ma'am.
Not due to this administration, but overall, especially in education, is high turnover rates of staff because you need to build those relationships with each other and with the students. And if you have someone coming in and leaving, coming back, you're not building that long-term relationship.
Okay. Dr. Carter, one thing that needs to stop.
Basically, the overall mindset, I stated in convocation when I interviewed two individuals for assistant principal. They said, come to Franklin because you can't make it anywhere else, you can make it here. So just the mindset of this is a dumping ground and raising this system up to be premier and people want to be here.
And the change of mindset is one of the intended purposes of strategic planning. We're looking beyond where we are. We're getting rid of that stuff, and we're adding things that work. Yes, in the back.
Yes. What I believe needs to be stopped is no homework policy. I hear a lot of our children, we need to believe in them, and all of this instilling respect and things like that. But how are we going to build that up in our children if they're not even coming home with homework? You know, whatever they're running in class, they can't build upon those skill sets at home because the teachers are not giving them any homework.
Okay. And I'm going to ask the person sitting next to the board member who spoke to share one thing that needs to stop. Yes, it is.
Passing or allowing without accountability, so the accountability becomes something that is to be breached.
Okay. Holding staff and students to be accountable. Okay, who have I not heard something from? Right here. She's the internal coordinator. This is Mrs. Tompkins. Ms. Tompkins. Okay. Something needs to stop.
Wow, that's hard to say. I've been here 2 months.
I'll give you a pass. I'll give you a pass.
I don't know what I should, to be fair,
I'll give you
I
a
think
pass.
I need more time.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. In 2 months, what needs to start? 2 months, what needs to start?
Oh, what needs to start?
Yes. I'll give you a pass. Okay. Let me hear from 2 more people and then we're going to wrap up.
On what needs to start?
Yes.
All right, not to piggyback on what you were saying, but I did notice that since the pandemic, we've been relying on a lot of electronics. And I'm just going to be honest, and I know you said don't bring no personal things in, but I have a lot of children that have certain disabilities. And in order for them to keep up with what they're learning during the day, they have to have homework. And they don't bring homework home. So in order for me to help them to be, better in their daily work at school, I have to be able to help them at home. And them not bringing homework home, I can't help them to be more productive at school during the day. And I mean, we rely on Parent Square to let us know that they have homework. I know one of my students last year, I had to rely on Parent Square to even put her homework in Parent Square, and I print it out. Because I'm like, you just let me know what it is, and I'll print it out to make sure she gets it done. Because they rely on so much of this electronic, they putting stuff on the computers and stuff, but a lot of kids don't get that.
So some balance in the use of technology versus
Yeah, learning disabilities, they can't grasp that and do that, so.
Okay. I want you to add that to the card when I ask you. Yes, sir.
Something that just started with more thinking about a couple things that were said earlier, to the exposure of a well-rounded student. There are things that we do on a regular that we expose students to, which is great, but there are things outside of Jamestown, the Science Museum, that they should be, that our students should be exposed to get an idea of what's outside of Franklin. to give them that chance to dream beyond what is being told or what they see. They can do more than just do this or do this, because I've experienced at opera, I can do that. I may not excel because I have a disability, but I can do something. And to give them that opportunity to find what they can do outside of the classroom just by giving them the opportunity to see it.
Okay, thank you.
On their mindset, instead of there being the child that says, I want to be involved in football. I want to play football. Okay, you want to be involved in football. That doesn't mean you have to play football. How about being a physical trainer? How about being an agent, a sports agent? Broadening that horizon beyond that tunnel vision of one subject.
So greater exposure. Okay, right now, will you please fill out those items on that card? 3 things to continue, 2 things to stop, 1 thing to start, and I'm limiting it to 1 thing because we're not talking about just adding a whole lot of new stuff. 1 thing. Be thoughtful about that. Please fill that out. Something you want to say? Go ahead, I'm listening. Go ahead, tell me. Remember, I have old ears, I got to hear you.
You need more? What about the school?
I can't hear.
More schoolwork. She said she needs more school.
Oh,
Diversity.
we have a student who says, I need more schoolwork. Greater variety of schoolwork.
Yes.
Greater variety. Now, we have some teachers here, we have some administrators here, we have some board members here, we have a superintendent here. She is requesting, she wants to be challenged. Do not let her down.
I will not.
Thank you. Okay, if you'll hold those, we're going to have you pass them to the end of the row and we'll pick them up. This is a tentative calendar so you can see what it looks like. Of course, we've done the summit tonight. We anticipate having 3 days with the strategic plan team in order that they will develop the parts of the plan. Let me describe them. They will develop a section called beliefs, a section called mission, a section called parameters, a section called objectives, and strategies. That will be drafted and ready at the end of the 3rd day so that then the internal coordinator working with Dr. Carter can select the number of action teams who will develop the plans and the steps for each of the strategies in the plan. Usually we have 3 to 4. So that would then be 4 action teams that would work for several months putting together the plans and the steps so that when implemented, it'll reach the mission. All of that will happen in 3 days. That's that first strategic plan team meeting. It's a 3-day meeting. Then the action team work will start immediately following that in December. Runs for about 2 to 3 months because there are 5 stages that they have to go through. And then early April, there will be a second meeting of the strategic plan team to receive the action plans and steps from the action team leaders. Once they receive that and approve that as part of the plan, then the total draft plan goes to Dr. Carter. He reviews it. He then takes it to the school board for their agreement and approval. Once that happens, Dr. Carter is set to identify who will be responsible for seeing the implementation of the plans and the steps. There will be monitoring along the way, and there'll be a report back to the board by the superintendent on the progress of the first year. This is a 5-year plan.
Wayne, if I may?
Sure.
Folks, I'm very encouraged by the participation here this evening. We call this a kickoff community summit. On the website, there's going to be a dedicated section regarding the strategic planning process, and even we have live stream tonight. It'll be available. And all the other steps along the way are going to be out there in the public. Through this year, in developing a strategic plan, easily we will spend over 1,000 to 1,500 hours of members of this community. Not just central office, but we're talking about all levels of the district and hopefully levels throughout the community itself. And then we get into an implementation the following year in which we want to document of the direction that's chosen through the board and the superintendent, developed by the strategic planning team, with the accountability of the implementation. Folks, this is a big deal. It doesn't happen very often in the system. When you have the commitment of the board and the superintendent and participation that you're showing here this evening, the size of this district is your friend, because people know each other. This is going to be a fun ride, and it's going to make a difference. And all I can say, this is just the beginning here. Dr. Harris has taken you through a lot of the purpose being it has to be about beliefs. Then you get into the details of the what and how it's going to affect your children. So we hope that you're going to continue being part of this. We've done this before, and I will tell you, in many cases, it's very successful. In some cases, the enthusiasm doesn't continue. Let's let that enthusiasm continue here and make it worthy of even the effort that you have. And some of the parents that brought their children here, the diversity of this audience here, I couldn't be more encouraged than Dr. Carter. I want to thank you for that. We'd like you to conclude if you would.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Can I ask a question for Dr. Carter?
Absolutely.
My question is two-part. One, is this going to be a shared document?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And then my second question is it possible, that you can identify, schools that compare to FCPS, that we can, take a look at just, where they started to going actually through that process?
That will actually happen as part of the action teams. They will be doing research to find out, and certainly we would encourage them to look at school districts similar that may have gone through strategic planning or not, but to determine what did they do that was successful when they implemented it. So that's all part of this action team process. That's why it takes them 2 to 3 months to do it.
I would encourage you, if you're able, to be part of an action team that gets into the research and development and tries to benchmark what you're doing here to other places of comparable systems. To see if you can see how your programs are measuring up, and if they do, that's fine. And if there are other things out there that we can do better, that's getting into the details when you get into implementation. So thank you for your question.
Does that answer your question?
Put me on a path.
Okay. Would you have another question?
No, sir.
Okay.
Good evening, folks. I would like to thank Dr. Kastner and Dr. Harris, and thank you for coming out tonight. As I stated earlier in my convocation, I'm going to state it wherever I go, that At the conclusion of year 2, and that's my vision, that Franklin City Public Schools will be in the top 5% of all performing schools in the state of Virginia. And by the conclusion of year 3, I'm actually getting greedy. I would like to be number 1. Somebody has to be. We have 3 schools. We have everything we need to make it happen for our students. And so I ask for the help of Dr. Kastner and Dr. Harris and the support of the board so that we have a community summit so we can get your input. I'm not sure because I took a look at back in the history of Franklin City Public Schools, and I'm not sure if this has been done before, in a sense that maybe a strategic plan has been put together, but without the involvement of the community. I believe if it was a strategic plan was put together at some point, it was done from the superintendent to central office and then just distributed out. This is a working plan. This has your buy-in. Please stay involved, stay engaged. Ms. Tompkins and I will be in touch with you next week, so make sure that you sign in. And however you want to help, we need your help to get this off the ground. I also talked to my staff about skill and will. And the thing about it is, we can teach you the skill, but staff, we don't. We need people here that have the will. And so everyone in the community for coming out has shown the will to come out tonight. And I appreciate it, and we want to keep you engaged in whatever you can participate in. Please help us see it through so that we can give our students everything that they deserve. I believe there's light refreshments that are served on it. And I think Ms. Tompkins, have you collected everybody? Please make sure that you give Ms. Tompkins, raise your hand so Ms. Tompkins can come around and get your feedback. Okay. And so, folks, I believe that's it for tonight. Once again, I want to thank you for coming out. We will be in touch with you next week about what the next steps are, which is a 3-day summit. And we will keep you engaged, and we will let you know what's going to happen again. Thank you again. Please help yourself to refreshments, and also you can also sign up if you want to be on the strategic planning committee tonight. So you don't have to wait for us to reach out. It's out on the table. Thank you, folks. Please drive safely.